Hello, loved ones. How are y'all doing? My hair looks crazy, but I wanted to come and talk to y'all. I wanted to do this last week, but life was just so crazy with the wedding and family and everybody here and just with everything going on. But I want to tell y'all that in the process of me wedding planning, I told y'all in my last live that I had a big decision that I needed to make. And it was around my career, around my job. Um, I kept getting these signs that I was supposed to quit. And so I've been praying about it. And every time I prayed about it, God showed me something. And I just want to talk to y'all today about what I decided to do, what life is looking like right now in this season, what life is looking like in this season. Just a lot of change and a lot of transformation and a lot of just spiritual growth and just growth overall. Um, so I don't even know where to start. So I've been battling with this decision for quite some time about what I should do. I work a corporate job, but I also am a licensed massage therapist. I love doing massage therapy, but nervous about, you know, being able to like pay my bills and everything else because that industry is kind of like, up in the air right now with the economy. But I don't know, I just keep feeling like that is what I might just need to go ahead and do. And so, um, back in like July, when I started having like these health issues and everything, I was like, I'm just gonna go ahead and quit so that I can focus on my health and then just do massage, to make income, like to, build some income, have some money coming in. Oh. And then I started seeing different things, like different opportunities opening up. Um, and I decided that I wanted to go and get my continuing education courses in fertility massage. Didn't even know that was a thing that you could do, but it turns out that you can actually become a massage therapist for women who are struggling to have children and also those who are already pregnant. I'm already certified in prenatal massage therapy. So I can do that and do labor massage. And I was like, oh, this is a good opportunity, right? And so a spa that I was trying to get in for the last 3 years, I finally got hired at. And I'm like, okay, God, I see you opening doors, right? So I started working there part time. And then, and I don't know if it was September or August, I seen on Facebook somebody was looking to have somebody come into their space to do the type of massage that I was looking to do. And so I was like, that can't be a coincidence, right? So I reached out to the lady and I was like, hey, I'm interested in the opportunity of, doing massage at your space. And she was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's meet. Let's talk about like your goals and everything. And at this point, I'm still scared. I'm still like, I don't know. I don't want to leave my job because like it's a low key job. I'm a manager and I'm just like to leave this job. Like I don't know what's on the other side of this if I do leave. Like it's hard for people to find jobs right now, right? But I'm like, I still have this to fall back on. I'm just like, oh, I'm so nervous. I'm so scared. And so I'm like, I know that I'm leaning on fear a lot in this process and not faith. And God is calling for me to be faithful and not fearful and to trust. And this whole time, I'm like, I have always been somebody who just stepped out on faith and just did it. Like, I moved across the country by myself twice because I felt in my spirit that God was like, "This is what needs to happen. This is what you need to do." So, I'm still, like, going back and forth with myself about it. Um, so I didn't, I stayed and I was just going back and forth and I'm asking people, like, how do you know when God is telling you to do something? And it's not like your anxiety or it's not like, you being impulsive or anything because everybody's like, oh, you don't need to work a 9 to 5. You can be an entrepreneur. And it's like, yeah, but the service industry right now is kind of like, people aren't spending a whole lot of money on self care right now. The industry is shaky. So it's like there are options out here for sure for people to make income without working a 9 to 5, but it's like my 9 to 5 is laid back and it's cool. However, there were some things that I was just like, when you don't feel fulfilled at your job, I think that that causes you to experience more stress than other things that could happen at your job, like having a heavy workload. Like if you have a heavy workload, it's like, okay, I'm doing a whole lot of work and I'm stressed out. But if you are sitting, you don't have a lot to do and you're just stressed out, and it's just like, oh my goodness, I could be doing so much more with my time. I know that I'm meant for so much more. I know that I have so much more to give to the world. Like, I want to do this more. I want to do massage more. Like, there are so many different things that I could be pouring my life into. I could be pouring my time, my energy into. And I was just miserable. So I was like, all right, I'm going to do it after the wedding. I'm going to just leave after the wedding. But as time like, as things were creeping up, as we're getting closer and closer to the wedding, I'm like, "Maybe I just need to go. Maybe I just need to do it and just step on off faith and just leave," right? So, I start praying, and I'm like, "God, I need you to guide me and tell me what I need to be doing. This is a season of transformation." September is, it's a reset season. It's when you try new things and do new things and make new decisions. So let me get into all of the ways, all of the signs that I started getting after I prayed about it. And, so in August, I met with, she's a functional health doctor, but she's also like a spiritual coach. And she was like, you are at the end of a cycle and you need to go and write a letter about what you want this next cycle to look like. And I was like, is she talking about me being single? Is she talking about this job? I'm like, I don't know what she's talking about. But I'm like, God, give me a sign. Tell me what it is she's talking about, right? So I'm still up in the air about it. Um, Wedding planning still. So let me write down I'm gonna tell y'all all of the ways that God was showing me, or God was showing me that it was okay to go. All right, so there was a period of time where I was at work and I was so miserable. I was crying. I was literally doing my job and I was in the environment and like my body physically felt wrong. I was just like, I gotta go. Like, I gotta leave. Like, I just felt very uncomfortable. The energy of the space felt uncomfortable because everybody else in the space is miserable, unhappy, and that energetic feeling, like when you absorb other people's stuff, that can make it very uncomfortable for you spiritually and emotionally, right? I'm one of those people that absorbs people's energy. And then I have people coming to me, talking to me about how they feel, in their roles. And I'm like, this is not healthy for me. Right. So that was one thing. I was just like miserable myself, sitting there like, oh my gosh, like this can't be life. There's got to be more. Right. Like it's cool, but it's not me. It's not for me. So there was that one thing. And then with the doors opening up at the spa that I currently work at, and then the doors opening up at the other spa that the lady told me that she would love for me to come and work there. And she told me that if I came and I worked there, any clients that I brought on my own, I could keep. And that's not normal at spas. They usually have like non-competes where you go in and you work for them and any client that you bring in is theirs. But she said that if I bring in clients of my own, I could keep them. So that was a very big green flag for me. And I was like, okay, God, I see you. I see you moving. I see what you're trying to do in this space. Like you're opening doors for me. And that was one of the things I was like, how do you know when God is telling you to move? God will open doors for you to move along the path that He's setting for you, right? And I'm just like, how do you know that it's not you and your thoughts and your anxiety? It's like, God is like, look, I'm creating a path for you. I just need you to take the path, right? So that happened. And then I'm like, all right, well, if this is the path that I'm supposed to take, what am I going to do about these bills? Tell me why random money just start coming in. I'm talking like I got like a check from the US Treasury for something from some unclaimed property years ago. And I was like, okay, God, I see you. I see you. I see that you're telling me you're going to be okay. I'm going to provide for you. Just do what I'm telling you to do. Then my phone bill got decreased. I was like, oh, I didn't even know that it was time for my phone bill to go down. But my phone bill got cut in half. So God is like, you're going to be all right. It's going to be okay. I just need you to just trust me. My phone bill got decreased. Money was coming in from different places. People were sending me money unexpectedly. Like I got sent, like somebody sent me like $500 to like help out with the wedding. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, you know? So that happened. And then so the day that I went in to work a few weeks ago, I was like, all right, God, I need to know that I'm making the right decision, right? So I go into work and I'm on the elevator and I hear that song playing by Tamala Man in my head. God will provide. It was like my spirit was telling me, like, it's gonna be okay. God's gonna provide. You're gonna be all right. Just do it, right? Um, so that happened. So I'm hearing the song in my head. God will provide. God will provide. You're going to be okay. You're safe. You're all right. And I have been getting so many different confirmations. And that's another thing that God will do when He's telling you that He needs for you to do something. I've been getting so many confirmations from different people. When I was in the detox boot camp, the spiritual coach, she just kept saying that you need to go because you have a higher purpose that God is trying to get you to. And I believe that God speaks to us through different things, and especially through people. So when the spiritual coach, she just kept telling me like, you need to let go of this in order to reach your highest purpose, in order to reach what God is trying to get you to do. And I'm just like, I'm still nervous. I'm still fearful. Like I got so much that I got to take care of financially. I don't know. It just doesn't. It don't feel safe. You know. So I'm praying about it. I'm doing affirmations. I'm reading scriptures, and I'm just like trying to get myself to a place where I feel safe. And then I had a meeting with a score coach. So let me tell y'all, okay. So I'm like, all right, I want to open up this business. I want to do this thing, right? I was scrolling on Facebook one day and I see an ad for a score mentor. Now, score is like a free business thing through the SBA, through the Small Business Association. So I clicked on it and they matched me with somebody. Okay. This is so crazy. I know I'm kind of going all over the place, but just follow me. All right. So I go and I meet with the lady. They connect me with this lady. I don't know if I can say her name, but they connected me with this lady and I met with her. And as I was telling her, like, what I'm going through, what I'm doing, what my goal is, she was like, oh, wow. I battle with fibroids too. And I believe that you're on the right path. And when she actually confirmed a dream that God had given me years ago, she was like, I actually could see you doing this. And I was like, wait a minute. That was a vision that God gave me back in 2016 that I just kind of let go. And I don't want to speak on it now because like I want to make sure that I'm doing what's necessary to bring that vision to life. But she was like, I can see you doing this. You could take this idea and turn it into that. And I was like, yo, that's already what I was thinking. And you just confirmed it without me even telling you that's what I wanted to do. And that's another way I think God will confirm you and reaffirm you through other people, visions that he put on your heart. And so I'm like, okay, wow. She's like, you could actually get this done in like the next year or two. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous, like I'm like, okay, she affirmed that this can happen. And I'm like, all right, so let me start putting myself out there to get the thing that God is telling me that I should have and could have, and, things that I'm supposed to be doing. So I went to a networking event. And when I went to the networking event, I was so nervous because I'm very introverted. I don't do well going to events by myself. And so when I had signed up for the event, I had seen that two other people that I knew were going to be going. So I was like, okay, I won't be by myself. So I go and I'm on my way to the event and I text the one girl who said she was going to the event. And I was like, hey, are you going to this networking thing? She was like, oh, I totally forgot. Yeah, I'll meet you there at 6. So I get there at 6 and she says that she's not coming, like she's not gonna be able to make it. And I'm freaking out because I'm like, what am I going to do? Like I tend to like latch on to extroverts in those type of settings because like I just get nervous and like social anxiety. Like I just don't do well in those type of settings. So I'm like, man, I want to leave. Like I want to get my car and I want to go back home. But I posted on Facebook like, y'all want to leave, and everybody was like, no, go in. You're there for a reason. So I'm like, okay. So I go in and like everybody, there was people sitting down at the tables, sitting down eating, and I was like, there's nowhere for me to sit except for this one chair on the side. So I sit down next to this lady. She don't have a table either. So it's just me sitting with my plate in my hand and then her sitting there with a plate in her hand. And she ain't got nowhere to sit. I don't got nowhere to sit. So I spoke to her. I was like, hey, how you doing? She's like, hey, but she didn't really give me too much energy, like she didn't really seem like she wanted to be talked to that much. So I just let it go. And I just was like, all right, well, I'm uncomfortable. Everybody's already in their space vibing with each other. So I'm like, well, maybe I should just leave. So I text some other people that I thought were going to be there, and they said that they couldn't come. And I was like, man, I'm gonna just leave. So everybody on Facebook is like encouraging me to stay. And I'm like, man, no. So the one girl, she was like, show me, the settings. So I showed it to her. She was like, yeah, I probably will leave too. So I left and we're on FaceTime talking. And she was like, you should go back in. Like you're there for a reason. You never know what could happen. You never know who you could meet. So she's encouraging me. I'm like, all right, let me go in here and just talk to somebody, right? I'm nervous as heck because I don't really, I haven't done this in a long time. If I go to events, I'll just be there and I'll just mingle, but I don't really talk to nobody. So I go in and the host was upstairs. And I was like, I'm nervous about being here by myself. She was like, well, it's a networking event. I'm glad you came back. So I go in and I go downstairs and I go in and everybody's still talking to each other. So I'm like, all right, well, let me just go look at the resources at the vendor tables. So I walk around and I'm going to the and there's one table where there's a person at. So I go to that table and I'm talking to them and he's like, "Oh yeah, there's a lot of free resources that you could use to help you get financing for a business, for a company that you want to start." And I was like, that's interesting. So he's telling me more about like the different opportunities that he has. And he's like, oh, you like I tell him like the idea that I have that I'm holding on to. He's like, "Oh, I know who you should talk to." So he tells me to talk to somebody at one of the other tables, but nobody was there. The host just happened to be standing there. She was like, I'll introduce you to the person who you need to talk to. She takes me back in the room and introduces me to the woman that I was just sitting next to. And I was like, okay, God, I know you're funny, because I was literally just sitting next to this lady and I was nervous about talking to her. So the host introduces us. We get up and we step outside and we talk. And I noticed that she's introverted too. That's why she wasn't really giving me too much energy. So we're talking, and through our conversation, I learned about so many resources, so much information. I was like blown away because had I not come back into that room, I probably wouldn't have gotten this information. Had I stuck to having to have somebody there with me, I probably would not have went back in. I probably would have went home and missed the opportunity and missed the blessing that God was trying to give to me. God was saying, I need you to take this path by yourself. I need you to do this thing right now on your own. I need you to not be afraid. I need you to do what I'm telling you to do, basically. So I'm like, wow, I'm blown away by what just happened. And I'm just like, okay, wow. So we're exchanging information. She gets my email, she gives me her card, and I'm like, okay, this is amazing because God gave me this vision 7 years ago. And now all of the doors are opening to make that vision come to life. I'm like, all right now. They say that if your dreams aren't that big, if your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough. And this dream scares me. It's a big dream. And I'm a big dreamer, and I believe that we are all capable of doing great things, right? But sometimes it's like, wait, this is bigger than me, and it is. A lot of times we have callings on our lives that are bigger than us, and it's not just about us. It's about somebody else that it's supposed to touch. It's about somebody else that it's supposed to impact, right? So that that experience was crazy. So God using other people to pour into me to let me know you're on the right track. I got you. I'm going to provide for you. I'm going to give you the resources that you need in order to make this thing real. Okay. So that was very impactful to me, and for me, right? So back at the office, I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right, God, I need a sign. I need you to tell me or show me that this is what you want me to do. Now I'm at work, and a lot of times I don't really be having anything to do. So I'm on YouTube and I'm watching a YouTube video. And there were two videos that I watched. One was by Pastor Michael Todd. He was talking about the anchor. The message of the day was anchor. And he was talking about the story of Gideon. Believe it was Gideon and not doubting God. And I believe that's the story. It is the story of how Gideon was telling God, I need you to give me a sign. And I was like, that's crazy. Gideon asked God, like, hey, I don't want to, doubt you. I don't want to, I don't want to overstep, but I need you to show me that this is what you want me to do. And I'm like, okay, that scripture's for me, right? Like this is for me. And so when I listened to that sermon, I was like, wow, that was for me. So I'm like, all right, I hear you, I feel where you're coming from, Pastor. Don't y'all know that as I'm scrolling, I see another video by Melody Alyssa, and I like watching her Bible studies and stuff. So I'm watching her video, and she starts talking about the same exact scripture of Gideon and how Gideon asked God for signs, and God gave Gideon the signs that he was looking for in order to do what it was that he needed to do. And I was like, okay, I don't really believe in coincidences like that. Like to see 2 sermons by 2 different people at the same time on the same topic that I'm looking to get clarity on. I'm like, that's gotta be something. But even still, my flesh is scared, and I'm like, I don't know, right? So I'm like, God, I just need you to give me a sign. So I get up and I walk to the window and I see a butterfly. A butterfly comes to the window and it's flying in front of the window for like 5 seconds and it flies away. It was an orange butterfly. The color of my business is orange. It's for fertility massage. And I'm like, okay, orange butterfly. Butterflies are the symbol of transformation, letting go, being free. And I'm like, okay, all right. I see. This is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to fly and be free and get out of here. And I'm still scared though. Like I don't know. Like sometimes I be feeling like I need a push. Like I was like, I need for you to, I don't know, you gotta literally come down here and sit next to me and tell me, Sonya, this is what I need you to do, and I need you to do it right now, right? And I remember like a few months ago, I had got stuck in the elevator and I was thinking like God was basically saying, like, girl, you about to be stuck here at this place if you don't listen to me and do what I'm trying to tell you to do, right? So I'm like, okay, my hair. So I'm like, okay, God, I recognize that you have something that you want me to do, right? Um, but I'm planning for this wedding. I need money for this wedding. This is a big thing that you're asking me to do. You're asking me to quit my job like right now in this economy. Like, what happens if I quit my job and I'm paid very well in this role where I don't have a lot to do? And I'm like, okay. So um then I get to work last week, the week of my wedding, and I'm still on the fence. And I'm like, God, I hear you. I do. Right. So I go into the hallway and we are on the third floor of this office. There is no windows. You don't open windows. I go outside in the hallway and there's an orange ladybug on the wall. I don't know where this ladybug came from, y'all. And how I even seen it, because I didn't have my glasses on. And I was like, okay, again, I don't believe in coincidences, but I still wasn't being obedient. I still wasn't being obedient. So I went and I sat down at my desk and my stomach started hurting. Out of nowhere, my stomach starts hurting. And I'm like, why my stomach feel like this? Let me go for a walk. So I get up and I go for a walk and I walk down the street. And the farther I get from the office, the better I feel. And I'm like, mm, okay, God. Okay. You're basically telling me I'm going to make you uncomfortable until you leave, basically. So I go back in because there was something that my boss had asked me to get done and do before I left for the day. And so I go in and I'm trying to finish up what it was that he asked me to do. And as I'm typing, my stomach is starting to hurt so bad again, so bad to the point I can't type, I can't do anything. I was like, I had to message my boss, like, I'm so sorry to do this, but I have to leave. Like, I'm in so much pain. I'm thinking, I gotta go to the emergency room. I'm in so much pain. Y'all, I left the office and when I got down the street, my stomach stopped hurting. I'm like, I don't know if this is stress. I don't know what this is. I don't know what is happening. Um, but I will tell y'all that by the time I got home, I was perfectly fine. And I was like, all right, God, I hear you. There, you don't want me at this place. I don't know what you have in store next. But I did submit a 30-day leave of absence notice. Um, and I let him know that I won't be returning for the next month. So I didn't leave completely. Maybe I'm still, holding on to something that's secure. Maybe that's not the right thing to do, because God is saying, like, I got you. In so many ways, God is showing me and proving to me that He's taking care of me. But it just was, I don't know, it was kind of odd to me because I'm getting all these signs that I'm supposed to leave, I'm supposed to quit and resign. But when I resigned, when I tried to resign, He offered me part-time. I was like, "Well, God, that wasn't on the bingo card. You didn't like, I wasn't expecting that, you know?" So I'm like, "Okay, God, I don't really know what you want me to do here." I tried to quit and e that, wasn't happening. I was expecting him to be like, "Okay, fine," but that's not what happened. So, I submitted my leave of absence letter and he accepted that too, and I was like, "God, I don't know. Do you want me to do this part-time? Do you want me to completely leave? Like, what is it that you want me to do?" Right? I know that God is saying, "I have something else that I need you to focus on. I have something else that I need you to do." I don't know if God is saying, like, "I just need you to focus on it for this period of time," or what. But I will say that I know that God wants me to focus on doing massage therapy. So I am taking my classes to become a fertility massage therapist next week. I do know that God wants me to focus on this channel. When I prayed about it, I heard a voice say focus on YouTube. So I deleted all of my other platforms. Not I'm not sure why. Whenever I download a different platform, something in my spirit is like, delete it. And so I deleted. Like I spent quite some time growing my TikTok and my Facebook, and something my spirit was like, "Get off of there." So I'm off. Um, yeah, God knows what my goal is. God knows my heart. But I also want to make sure that what I'm doing is in alignment with what my calling is, what I'm being called to do, what my purpose is. I know it's not going to be easy. Um, and sometimes we can be hard headed. So I've been off today, and tomorrow I go back into the spa. I'm excited to start back working, doing massage therapy the way that I want, and we'll see, what happens. I feel like God was saying, like, quit your job. So I requested the leave of absence. My best friend told me that she took like 3 leave of absences before she finally just quit. So, I don't know, the spiritual coach, she was like, "You're holding on to it as a crutch." I'm like, "Maybe I am," you know? Because I get health insurance through my fiance's job. Not Beyonce, through my husband's job. I'm a old married woman, y'all. Goodness gracious. So that's been fun too. So, yeah, I'm excited to see what this next 30 days is going to hold. I got somebody hit me up today and was like, "Hey, are you open for massage therapy?" And I'm like, "Who is this?" Like I haven't been advertising that I'm doing massage therapy outside of the spa. So, yeah, I'm excited to see what God has for me on this journey. Um, for my advice for anybody who's looking to make a change in their life is to pay attention to the signs because God is sending them. It's just about if we're going to listen to them or not, if we're going to take heed to them. Um, I know that what else? I don't want to leave anything out. Um, about not doubting God, definitely that. I do see, the confirmation numbers. Um, but that's a big thing too. Uh, and then also just being in environments where you are cared about. That's a big thing I wanted to touch on too. Outside of, you know, spiritually being called to leave an environment. One thing I'm really big on is environmental self-care. If you are in a place or a space that isn't serving you to the best of its ability, you don't need to be there. If you are working in an environment that is not good for your physical health or your mental health, you need to leave. And I'm a big advocate for that. And I tell my staff that, like, if you ain't happy here, go find another job. You know what I mean? Like, I get that times are hard right now, especially in the tech industry. Like, but it ain't that hard to where you can't find nothing else. And I know, like, in tech, you make a lot of money, right? But no amount of money is worth your health and you being sick emotionally, mentally, physically, in any kind of way. There's nothing that can, that can make that okay. Let me see, because there was something that I wanted to talk about, the importance of environmental self-care. Yeah. So one of the signs that I have been getting was getting rid of the old and allowing the new to come in. It's a message that I've been getting for months, 555, I believe, and just in my sessions with my coaches, shedding the old and letting in the new. The old habits, the old ways, the old beliefs, the old everything, and allowing the new to come in. Fall is that season of shedding. And my wedding day, it rained, the cleansing of the old and allowing the new to come in, a new leaf, you know? So when you recognize that you are in a space that's not the best for you, you got to let it go. Let it go and allow the new to come in. It can be scary. Like I'm telling y'all, I'm so scared. Like, I'm making the most money I ever made in my life. I'm terrified. I'm like, what do you mean? You want me to leave this job and do what? What happens next? What if I can't replace this income? The anxiety of it all. But God is constantly reminding me, like, girl, you're going to be okay. Like, when have I not provided for you? When have I not made sure that you are all right? You know? And my husband, he was like, it's like a slap in the face to God. It's like I done did all of this for you and you just gonna ignore that. And it is, you know. But it's just like, I'm learning to be more trusting. These next 30 days they are unpaid. I will not be paid for this time off that I am taking. But we're just gonna see what happens. I'm gonna go pick up some time at the spa. I'm going to start advertising myself after I'm done with the CEs and build my books, get some people in here, fix up my space and get it all spa like. Um, yeah, it is scary to move when God is telling you to move, regardless of if you know what the outcome is going to be. We're not going to know what the outcome is, but God is saying, trust me. So here I am. We will be doing a lot more of these. Um, yeah. So I know that I was kind of like all over the place, jumping all over the place, but I hope that you followed. Hope it made sense. Thank you for letting me come here and share this with y'all. I know I look crazy. I have a video about to post in 20 minutes, so please be sure to check that out. We are doing another recipe video today. I'm about to go grocery shopping because we have a self-care reset for Vlogtober coming. So I love y'all so much. Hope y'all have a beautiful rest of your day, and I will talk to y'all soon. Bye.